Abra's getting married. 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 Howdy, folks. Did you miss me? Well, now you know why I've been MIA. Abra got married! And I'm living to tell the tale. If you haven't seen Abra's engagement video, I'll put a link down below. It's super cute, so check it out. Now, Abra and I have been super close her whole life. I homeschooled her. I taught her how to drive. We rescued animals together. I let her throw all kinds of wild parties. We would go line dancing every week. Every year, Abra and I would float down the Ichetuckney River together. For Abra's 10th birthday, we drove up to Niagara Falls. Somehow this road trip morphed into an epic 8,000-mile journey across the entire North American continent. And man, oh man, did we rock out to some black-eyed peas.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside your trunk?
I'ma get you drunk, get you love drunk off my hump.
You wanna listen to it again? And the whole time, we camped out in a tent with a pug and a hamster. Abra and I used to go to Warp Tour together, and I would take her to every single All-Time Low show. She would wear a wedding dress every single show, and she would crowd surf in that wedding dress, and they called her out every show.
Hello, my sweet bride.
She was like a semi-celebrity. People would ask to get their picture taken with her. It takes a special kind of person to put up with those kind of shenanigans, and Abra found that special person. Not only does he treat her like the princess that she is, but they share a love of pop-punk music. They even planned a pop-punk wedding. Not only a pop-punk wedding, but a pop-punk princess wedding. But not only that, they planned a pop-punk princess barn wedding. Everyone's like, how are you gonna pull that one off? Listen, Abra knows what she wants, and she always manifests it.
And even in the day, I get everything that I want.
She even hired an awesome wedding planner that was able to bring her vision to life. And you know their wedding colors? Hot pink and black checkerboard. Now, Abra always said that she was going to live with me forever. And even though she moved out, bought a house, and moved on, that sweet child asked me to walk her down the aisle and give her away. And it's kind of nice because Abra gave me away for my wedding ceremony. A week and a half before the wedding, Abra calls me and she's like, "Mom, can you get a steamer? They're all booked up and they can't steam my dress." So I had to drive all the way up to where she lives, about an hour north, to pick up the dress. So I drove on up there and I bleached her hair for the wedding, and we ate some watermelon and we chit-chatted, and then I headed back to Tampa, and I'm halfway back to Tampa and my phone rings. And it's Abra. And every time Abra calls, I panic because I'm like, oh my gosh, something terrible happened. And she's like, "Mom, you forgot the dress." So I turned around and drove back up there in the pouring rain at night. So I got the dress, I steam cleaned the dress. The crinoline was all crunched up, and after I steamed it, it was like super long. It was like up to here on me. And I'm like a whole head taller than Abra, so I had to shorten the crinoline. And also that week I got poison ivy. And Abra's like, I would rather get COVID than poison ivy. And honestly, I don't blame her. Poison ivy is terrible. So I had to make these flesh-colored arm covers so that would keep my baby safe. And they didn't look too bad either, I don't think. Now, I didn't find out until like the last minute that Abra's dad was gonna be at the rehearsal. I thought I was only gonna have to deal with him like the day of the wedding. Not only that, but his girlfriend was gonna be there too. But anyway, I'm trying to have a really good attitude. Now, my Texas sister and her husband were there for the rehearsal as well. So my sister's husband is an old friend of mine, and the last time I saw him, he was in the middle of a work Zoom call, and I totally photobombed him. And it wasn't until later that I realized that, oh my God, everybody on his Zoom call just saw me photobomb him. So I see Bob and I'm chit-chatting and getting caught up on things, and then I look and I see Abra's dad, and he's like coming towards me, and I'm like, oh my God, he's like coming in for a hug. Then I see his tall, gorgeous, gothic, supermodel looking girlfriend with movie star sunglasses approaching. Then she takes off her sunglasses. And I'm like, oh, she seems nice. Good on you, Abra's dad, for finding yourself a respectable gal. So we did the rehearsal, and I walked Abra up to the front, and her best friend Josh was the one that was conducting the ceremony. He's like, who gives this bride today? And I'm like, just standing there. Abra's like, Mom. I'm like, I've never given anybody away at a wedding, but they're like, you say like I do or something. I'm like, I'm not gonna say I do. That's like, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say, I give this bride today. Then I turn and I kiss her on both cheeks, which is a custom that I've adopted from my Chilean friend Vivian. Hi Vivian. Mwah. And then I go sit down. So Josh gave his little speech, which was so cute, and Abra laughed so much, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like giving it all away. So the day of the wedding, it's like she's already gonna know what he's gonna say, so her reaction isn't gonna be the same. But anyway, it was super cute. So after the rehearsal, they have the rehearsal dinner, and I was not going to attend the rehearsal dinner because Liberation Pledge. So everyone went off to the restaurant for the rehearsal dinner, and I started the long drive back down to Tampa, and I'm driving there on those country roads, and I get about halfway home and my phone rings, and it's Abra, and I'm like, oh God, what happened? What happened? And Abra goes, Mom, I forgot to give you the key to go pick up Penelope. Penelope is my grandbaby, and I'm just gonna be babysitting her while Abra and Jon go on their honeymoon. And so I turn back around and I drive back up north, and I go to the restaurant, I get the key, I go to her house, I get the dog, I get in the car, and I drive back home to Tampa. Okay, so the day of the wedding arrives, and my brother John from Virginia comes over to deliver a bicycle trailer for my dogs. Now, one of the tires was flat and it needed a new tube, so he changed out the tube and showed me how to collapse it down, how to pop the wheels off, how to attach it to my bike. He even showed me how to take the front wheel off my bike to make it easier to get into the back of my car. In the meantime, I'm like, I gotta do my hair, I gotta get dressed, and I was so thankful for this bicycle trailer. And after a while, I was like, John, Abra's getting married today. I need to get ready. He was real good, and he like sped things up, and he taught me so much. I learned so much that morning. It was like a whole lesson in bicycle maintenance. Okay, so once he got on his way, I was like, okay, now I gotta get ready. So I started digging through my drawers, and I'm like, I couldn't find anything. I'm like, where's my underwear? Where's my stockings? I can't find anything. Digging and digging and digging, and oh, there's my hard drive. And then I had to do my hair, and I was going to do like a 40s style look. And I'd never done it before, so I'm like trying to do these victory rolls, and I did them over and over and over again, and the clock was ticking. And anyway, I guess I finally got it good enough, but it wasn't exactly what I had envisioned. I had to go feed the goats and make sure all the animals had water. And so I get to the venue and I find the glam room where Abra's getting ready, and she just looked so beautiful. Me and Raleigh, we help Abra get into her dress. Now my sister Camilla from Texas had given Abra a card that had an English pence coin for Abra to put in her shoe for good fortune. Abra gave me the card. She's like, put this somewhere safe. So I put it in my basket, and then I put the coin in her shoe, and I put the shoe on her foot, and it was like so Cinderella-y. Then it's time for the wedding to start, and the big surprise was that Abra and I were going to ride in on a horse-drawn carriage. And of course it turned out to be a beautiful day. A little on the hot side, but I bought a bunch of pink and black fans. So we come riding up in the horse-drawn carriage, and I see everybody, they're all like fanning themselves with the fans that I got. And so we pull up, and they have these closed gates. So Abra can compose herself, but the second they open the gates, she's like out the gate. I was trying to hold her back. It's like a moment for people to just take in the view, but I couldn't hold her back. And she stumbled on her dress a couple of times, so I like reached over and tried to lift it up and had to hold up the front of her dress the whole way down the aisle. And she still was moving pretty fast. And I'm like, it's your moment, savor it. So we got up there, and before I even knew it, Josh was saying, who gives this bride today? Then somebody says, not yet. And so I went ahead and I just said, I give this bride today. And then I'm like, what happens next? And I said, Raleigh's the maid of honor. She was supposed to take the flowers, but actually I was supposed to kiss Abra on the cheeks first. So I kind of messed things up there, but I turned to Abra and I kissed her on both cheeks, just like my friend Vivian does. And then I went to go take a seat, and there's Abra's dad sitting there, and there's Abra's dad's girlfriend, and then there's Abra's grandma, and then there's Pops and Abra's Aunt Randy, and I had to go and sit on the very end. It's like as soon as I gave Abra away, it's like demoted. Anyway, it was a beautiful ceremony, and my eyes started watering a little bit because, you know, I'm not used to wearing makeup. And they said their vows, and my sister from Oregon, she said, that is a good man. She had never met John before, but she's like, this is a good man. I'm getting a little emotional now. Then after the ceremony, Abra and Jon rode off in a horse-drawn carriage. It was like a Disney princess fairy tale. Then we had the reception in the barn, and all the food was vegan or vegetarian, Even the cake was vegan. I don't normally drink, but I had 2 sangrias, and I danced and danced and danced up the storm. I danced with Coco, one of the flower girls, and we had so much fun. Everybody had such a good time, and Abra and all her friends, by the end of the night, they were all in a circle, just dancing and singing these pop punk songs.
Hey, so I will not go. Turn the lights off. Carry me home.
So Abra and Jon got to enjoy a whole week at Disney, and I got to enjoy my grandbaby for a whole week at home. So the night they were returning home from their honeymoon, I loaded Penelope up in the car, and we start driving back up there, and we get about halfway up there, and I'm like, "Ah! I forgot the key!" Abra always says that one day there's going to be a silver alert out for me.